Hey guys, this is day 104 of startup. So, one of the things about AI that really baffles me is that behind every magic it is doing today, it is creating these images, photorealistic images of celebrities, and it is able to create videos, again, very realistic videos, and it is able to clone your voice, so which is somewhere similar to the application what I'm working on for my startup. And all of these magical things it does is through a very random process, like it is throwing a die to do all these things. So I hope everybody knows what I mean by a die. It's a, if you have played the game of Ludo, we have a die, or I think two dice there. We throw them, and the numbers come from 1 to 6, and based on that number, we put the piece forward. So that die, it's just a random thing. It just throws a random number, just like tossing a coin. Now, isn't it so unbelievable that AI is doing that same process, just tossing a coin, sort of, to create such precise creations like your voice, the clone of your voice, or your fake, or your video. So, for people who are not familiar with how AI works, I will give a very short explanation how it works. So, basically, AI consists of a neural network, and I do not even need to explain what is a neural network. I can just tell you that it is something you can think of like a die which is still not formed. And now we are not talking about a six-faced die, but maybe like a very complex die which will throw out many, and maybe a whole array of dies, like thousands of dies, and they are thrown together, and whatever the numbers come, those numbers will be maybe the pixels of your image or the parameters of the voice. So basically it throws a massive die, which is a combination of many small dies, and those numbers are the value of what you are creating. And during that training process, it uses the past data to set up the parameters of this die, and during inference it just throws it to find the new sample from that die which you will use for your work. Maybe that wasn't too easy to understand, but hey, you cannot understand AI in 1 minute. What I'm trying to say, however, is a different thing. In this whole process, what really confuses me is that aren't these images that finally produced by, for example, DALI or Stable Diffusion, or these voice clones created by 11 Labs, aren't they so precise in the end? Like, they do not look like they are random. There's no vagueness in it. No, it is so coherent, well connected, no errors, clean. They do not look random at all. I was really confused about this and thinking about it, and I think the reason is that our own perception, humans, the eyes we have, the ears we have, we are not even that precise in our perception. So there is a lot of variation that we will not notice. So on the micro level, if a physics laboratory instrument can measure a lot of things which our brain will actually club together as one thing. So uh, I think an interesting thing is, like, recently I came to Toronto and I had spent most of my life in India. So after I came here, I most of the Asian faces or Caucasian faces, I was not able to differentiate much among them. So for me, all Japanese people look like the same. So in that scenario, let's say if AI produces like 10 different images which are very varied, maybe a Japanese person can distinguish between them and say, no, no, these are not working. But for me, they will always be, oh yeah, it's the same person and AI is doing wonderful. And the same thing happens with the voice cloning also. I've seen that when it comes to other people's voices, I'm not able to see differences at all. But when I do my own voice clone, I'm immediately able to grasp the difference and say, no, no, it's not working. So what I'm saying is that AI is rolling a die, and it is producing these vague, imprecise creations which we are not able to distinguish at separate and vague because our eyes and our ears are themselves not so precise. And I think that solves that mystery. Maybe if you have more ideas or more thoughts on this, you can comment.